Wolfclock Productions, Wolfclock here. This is the X06 era version of Test Chamber 13, and we're going to be going into it and taking a look at some of the stuff in it.
Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time. If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An intubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline.
So let's start off by answering the obvious question, which is, Wolfclock, where did you get this from? Well, inside the 2006 map files, which of course leaked in 2016, maybe 2017 on FacePunch, is a map called Portal Demo Barcelona. Now, this map was the demo that was showcased at X06, which took place, of course, in Barcelona. So, let's take a look at some of the differences here. To start things off, obviously, this is a single texture as opposed to the model version that's used in the final game. This is a real signage texture that is seen in, I guess it's not in the final game files, but is in the Portal Project beta files as well as the leaks files. The interesting thing about this sign, actually, is that unlike the final game, you can actually put portals on it. I believe this is intentional. I think if I looked in the VMT file, it says it is portable. Or maybe portable textures are the default portal one, I'm not sure. Next up, let me just pop this down here. You'll see that this is the early camera. It is not functioning correctly, which is pretty obvious here. That is just a result of the fact that this is how it is in Portal Project Beta in their X06 demo file listing. If I were to modify this, and I believe I probably will before releasing this map, I plan to fix it so that it is looking in the correct direction. Another issue that I'm not 100% certain about is the fact that it does not pop off, and there is a portal detector in it and a fizz conversion or whatever it's called that makes it so that it should pop off, but it just doesn't. Next up, you will notice a couple of different textures here and there. Let's go off one by one. So this is the scratched up version of the metal wall texture. This is something that is seen, of course, in a lot of early footage, and in fact, it looks scratched up like this up until, I believe, the E3 era. I may be incorrect about that. It might be earlier, it might be later, but somewhere around that time. It was scratched up like this for a long portion of the game's development cycle. We also have an earlier version of the button here, denoted by the lack of a button image on the screen, as well as the white legs here. This is taken directly from the December era, because I believe, looking at different images, that the textures were the same between December 2006 and the X06 era. What isn't from that, however, is the reflectivity that's actually a part of my quality of life mod, which, as you can see, is compatible with these sorts of different packs and mods. Just want to toot my own horn there a little bit. Next up, we have the antlion here. This is the early antlion. And an interesting thing about it, in fact, is that in my previous video, the video about all of Portal 1's different development eras, I say that in X06, all the antlines are orange, which is true. I've gone back and I've looked at all the footage. I've looked at multiple different videos that we have from X06, and they are all orange. However, as you can see, the texture toggle that toggles it between blue and orange is in the map file, which leads me to believe that maybe the orangeness at X06 was not the result of them only having one of the two textures at the time. Perhaps it was the result of not having things set up correctly, or maybe just having the texture not function entirely. One funny thing that's shared throughout all of Portal 1's development is that the developers had very little understanding of how the material system worked in the source engine. That's something that I fixed a lot of in my quality of life mod, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go ahead and move along. Oh, of course, one more thing. This observation deck is made out of reflective textures, and the chairs here are made out of brushes. It's just something that's seen in a number of different chambers. Oh, and I almost forgot. The door state is completely different. It's green, it's red. It's not blue and orange. Now, I know that in the door state texture file, or just the texture file for a lot of signage things that has the check mark of the X, there are green and red layers in it in the Photoshop file. And I believe in December 06 we see these as well. So this is definitely how the texture looked. Oh, it's weird. That's goofy. Anyway, continuing on. Let's see what else we have here. Over here, as you can see on the pellet launcher, we've got white legs. We've got different textures all around, in fact. As well as the catcher over here, also white legs on it. Over here, we have on the ends of these light rails. I don't remember what these things are called. This is the old cyan color. I'm not sure if there's anything else really other than the cyan. Maybe the color up here is different as well, but I'm not certain about that. But it is a difference, so worth pointing out. The doors as well, old cyan color. And you can see again these different door states. There are a couple of other things in here, but I'm not sure if they're in December 2006 or not, but we'll take a look at them anyway. This is a variation of the walls that was removed in the final game. I had to pop this back in my game files to get to work. This is a floor texture taken from Xbox. It is slightly different. I believe this is the X06 version of the texture. It's very difficult to tell looking at our footage because it's very weird. All of it's recorded on camcorders, so it's hard to say with any amount of certainty. But I believe this is the texture. So let's go ahead and get this going. Get things cooking, as it were. I don't need to do that. Old door sound there.
As part of a previously
then
mentioned
a,
required test protocol, we
stuck
can
on
no
here.
longer lie to you. When the testing is over, you will be missed.
Of course, this camera here as well. If there is a camera here in the final game, I'm sure it's up higher. This one's more surface level. But in either case, that just about does it for this map. You think of some other things worth saying. Oh yes, so in the final game, we have 3 variations of the metal wall texture here. We've got the small, medium, and... Is there any examples in here? No examples here, but there's small, medium, and large. And those are all separate textures. But in this map, they are all using the same texture, just scaled differently. That's something that went on for a while. I don't remember if it was changed by December 2006. I think it probably was, though. Probably December 2006 was when it was changed. But yeah, very interesting map here. And there are 2 more, in fact, from the X06 era that we can take a look at. So I will see you guys in those videos when I finish the maps and release them. And I will be releasing all 3 of the chambers, as well as a fixed-up Barcelona demo map, simultaneously at some point in the near future. That's been that. I've been Wolfclock, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next video, whenever it may be.